Welcome back to this edition of In Focus. This morning we've been talking about a local nonprofit making positive impacts in the Beckley area. And this morning we're talking to two members of Rise Up, Jamal Murphy and Clifton Montgomery. Now I'd like to bring Jamal back in for this next question. Jamal, you're very passionate about making positive changes in Beckley, and you and Clifton both spoke, and you were active participants in last year's peaceful protest in Beckley, and that was held in light of George Floyd's death. And that event in Beckley happened last June, more than a year later. What do you think can be done now at the local level and beyond to create positive change and also to bring light to racial injustices?
Well, as we know, racial injustice will always be prevalent as long as society does not see equality. So, in that, what we try to do is treat others as we want to be treated, just a golden rule. And as we do that, like when we had the barbecue on Saturday, last Saturday, it was men and women of all color that say, hey, we enjoy and we appreciate what you're doing. Just being out in the community doing your works and known and being passionate about Beckley will kill the color barrier and will kill all the injustices, because if you save one child, then you save them all. So that is our thing, to kind of save the, or to kind of do something about the racial injustice. This is an ageless problem that we have, and we just have to chip at it. I always say a big tree, but a small axe.
All right, and it's change starts one person at a time. And Clifton, what are your thoughts on this? What would you like to add to what Jamal just said?
I would say that one of the biggest things that we can do is just make ourselves visible because, unity is seen. People can talk all day, but when people see us, black, white, all coming together for one common cause, then that, causes other people to see the reflection of themselves and say, well, maybe I'm a part of the problem, because I'm a firm believer also that if you're not a part of the solution, then you're a part of the problem. So when you start looking at yourself and you start looking at other people who are actively saying, okay, I want to change, then, eventually you have to say, okay, I want to get with this program. I want to get with this movement, because racism is something that we all have to play a part in ending. And so it takes all of us being visible, black, white, working together with one common goal to say that, color is not an issue, when there's people hurting and people dying and people just in need of support and love. So.
All right, thank you, Clifton. And speaking of being visible, Jamal, tell our viewers more about the barbecue on July 3rd. Rise Up was very visible at that barbecue. You all played a big role in that. And why did Rise Up put this event together? And also, I want to mention for our viewers at home, we have some photos we're about to share with you from that event.
Okay, we put it together, like I said, to basically our program is for children. We're a group of men, but we want to direct our programming to children. Right here, you have the group of men that came together and said that, we're tired of what's going on in our community. We're going to take a stance. This right here, we was having a moment of silence and prayer. And right here, you have Cliff, making some delivery to some local people uh, from the barbecue. And one thing about it is that these gentlemen sacrifice their time and their effort. But I do want to be clear with something, Mel. If we as black people do not stand up in our community and handle our problems have a tendency to spill over into other neighborhoods. So I believe that we as black people are shining examples. Once we get our things together, then we will be a shining light in our community. We have a long history of condition that we have to break. And in breaking that condition, it's going to take time, it's going to take effort, and it's going to take patience from all of us. So once we get our situations and our things that we need to address on the front lines, then we will be able to generously and help and influence others no matter what community they are in. So our focus is all, but our specific focus is the underserved communities that's in West Virginia. Um, white or black isn't a thing. I think it's more of rich and poor. There's a generational gap between the rich and the poor, and we want to make sure that our middle class citizens are doing their best to connect the gap. So if we take color out of the situation, we just have rich or poor. If we take monetarily things out of the situation, we have good and bad. And all we want to do is just focus on the good things that we can do in our community. And like Cliff said, just put love into it. Our children are our future. We're losing our children at a incredible rate. They're dying, they're being incarcerated. And we just want to stand up and hug our children and say, we're going to lay this plate for you. We're going to lay this table for you. So later on down the line, you can sit at this table with whoever you want and build. So part of the process is becoming the cornerstone of the community so they can build with a good foundational root. And right there, we also have Stephen P. New, who most people don't know is helping us silently. See, that's why I say the beautiful thing about it is there's all walks of life in this organization, and a lot of people don't want to be in the position that me and Cliff are right now in the cameras. So we represent them and we speak passionate for them, but we also understand that they're with us as well.
Right, and Jamal, you were talking about Beckley attorney Stephen P. New there as well. Why do you think it's so important for people of all walks to come together? And you mentioned like a number of issues that, you know, in the Black community that could spill over. Just to follow up with what you said, can you elaborate on that a little bit more and how people of all walks can come together to kind of help maybe solve some of these issues one person at a time?
One person at a time. Well, if you want to solve some of the issues, and you want to do something positive for your community, all it takes is love. A little bit of love goes a long way. See, I believe that our God is a God of love, and I'm just a writing utensil for God that's trying to write love on the wall. And all we're trying to do is show our own communities that we love them, and the love will spill over because love is so infectious. So, as you see in this picture, we have all walks of life. We have young people, old people, white people, black people. We even have a young lady that was there with us. And we're all standing in solidarity because we feel as we made a ripple in some of the things that's going on. Now, I'm very proud of everybody in this picture because they could have went to another barbecue. They could have done something else with their time, but they got together on a holiday which is normally celebratory, and they fed homeless people and people that was in need. And that, seeing that will cause change. And every time we do it, we will cause change.
All right, thank you. We do have to take another quick break. Much more to talk about. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back to this edition of In Focus, everyone. I want to jump back in talking about the barbecue that was recently held in Beckley, put on by Rise Up. And I'd like to bring back in Clifton. Clifton, why do you think an event like this barbecue is one way to help make a positive impact on those living in Beckley?
Well, because just to piggyback off of a lot of what Jamal said, it takes a village, to raise a child, and it also takes a village to help the community. And so, the barbecue was something, like I said, by us being out there in the open, people saw that we were really out there, volunteering our time, volunteering our efforts. And the hunger problem is also a problem here in Beckley. Downtown, there's a lot of people who may not have had anywhere to go, may not have had a barbecue to go to. And so us volunteering our time, being out there, just willingly, helping feeding people, that makes a difference in the community because, people, I believe that it not only feeds their bodies, but, that stuff like that, it feeds their soul because it makes them see, okay, people do care. Because a lot of times that's all people want to know is that who cares about us, because people can walk by and see families celebrating having barbecues, but if they don't have anywhere to go or anywhere to eat, I mean, that causes people to hurt and feel some type of way. And so by us being out there helping feed people, that alone, like I said, I think, not only did it, let people know that Rise Up is serious about the community, but it let people know that, hey, like I said, we got somewhere to go. We got people, who aren't just talking, but who care about helping. And, that's, like I said, a lot of times people just want to see compassion. And like I said, compassion is seen, if not talked about, but, you show compassion by your actions and by the way you move, by the way you act. And, I think that's what we were able to do at the barbecue.
And I'd like to bring Jamal back in for this next question. Jamal, what is the ultimate goal for Rise Up? Where do you see this nonprofit going in the next few months, years, or even 5 years and beyond that?
Okay, right now we're shifting to our fundraising tactics to raise money to do more. Of course, it's hard to do. It's hard to call upon the community all the time to give things like items and food and things of that nature. So we're going into our fundraising. We see Rise Up as a prevalent force in the community. At some point in time, we want a community building or connect with somebody that can give us a community building so we can hold classes there. Uh, we need things such as mentors, we need teachers, we need people that can help, businessmen that can help our children create resumes and search for jobs. It's a lot of things happening that we need to fulfill. But step by step, what we're going to do next is we're going to keep on meeting and we're going to keep on being prevalent in our community. We have a talent show scheduled on September 25th, which is going to conclude our summer program. And we're going to work backwards from the 25th. So you should see us in the neighborhood. We're going to be at the blessing boxes, putting things such as toiletries and other items in the blessing boxes. We're going to our elders. We're going to do things for our elders, such as give them blankets and also other items. And we're just going to try to be out in front of people as much as we can until we shift over into our fall programming, which is our mentorship and our tutelage.
And Jamal, how can people get involved with Rise Up? We also have some information. If you want to look Rise Up on Facebook, we have information for that and a phone number. But Jamal, how can people get involved?
If you want to get involved, you can contact myself, Cliff, or you can ask any of the brothers that's in Rise Up. We're on the Rise Up page, Facebook, Beckley Rise Up. You can also call 681-334-2045. Leave a message and tell us how you would like to be involved, or if you have any ideas, or if you like to donate. Also, if you want to be a part of Rise Up, just do something yourself. Just show some kindness to somebody. And it begins as simple as that.
Thank you, Jamal. And I want to bring Clifton back in for this next question. Why do you think it's important for people to get involved with a nonprofit just like Rise Up?
I think it's important because it shows people, because a lot of times people always ask, how can I help? And so this is your opportunity. I think, if you're looking for a way to give back to the community, if you're looking for a way to help, a nonprofit is just that, a nonprofit. We're not doing it for status. We're not doing it for gain, to seek attention, fame. We're doing it to help. The age-old story about the Good Samaritan. He just saw somebody needing help on the side of the road, and he helped. And so that's what we're trying to do. We're just trying to help. And so if people want to get involved, like I said, Jamal said, there's ways that they can. And I think it's important because, be the change that you want to see is what people often say. And so if you want to be the change, then, this is your opportunity to step in and be the change by being a part of Rise Up. And you could be a part of Rise Up in any way. Like you said, you can donate to Rise Up. Even if you just donate your time, we're going to be doing a lot of things in the community. So we'll always need help and foot soldiers for what we're trying to do. So.
Okay, we're quickly running out of time in this segment, but Clifton, a quick follow-up question for you. What have you learned or gained as an individual from being involved with Rise Up?
By being involved with Rise Up, I've gained a greater sense of brotherhood for one, because there's nothing like men being around strong men. So by us being around each other, it strengthens us because even the strong men sometimes get weak. Superman sometimes, ran into kryptonite, but he always has, somebody to turn to. And so when you got somebody, another brother that you can lean on, another man that you can go to and say, confide in, be transparent with, then that means a lot. It strengthens you. And so for me personally, that's what it's done for me. It's strengthened me, and it's helped me see that, brotherhood is real, and that there's real men who want to bring about real change.
And Jamal, we have about 30 seconds left. Any closing thoughts from you?
Yes, I would like to say thank you to all the brothers for Rise Up. I'd like to say thank you, WVVA, for this opportunity. And also, remember, just do good in your community, and if you see somebody, that's down, pick them up. And also, let's have some pride back in Beckley. Let's go, Beckley. Let's push it up. Let's do something for each other. Hold your brother up. Hold your sister up. And that's all I got to say. Rise up, everybody. Just rise up.
All right, I just want to say that I also really appreciate having Clifton and Jamal on as well. Thank you both for joining us. And I want to add a few thoughts from myself here. I usually don't go off script too often here at WVVA, but I know Jamal and Clifton in person. I actually covered the peaceful protest in Beckley last year, and both of those men just have a heart for serving their community. Both men got up there in front of a big crowd, and they spoke about some of the racial injustices that they've seen growing up as black men in southern West Virginia. And they also spoke about what they saw that's happening around the nation, what was happening in light of George Floyd's death last year. So both men are just really doing what they can to make a difference. And I believe personally making a difference in your community starts one person at a time, and it starts by serving others. I'd like to share the photos again from that barbecue that happened in Beckley. If we have those photos available, I'd like to share those with the viewers. There they are. This is actually taken from Rise Up's Facebook page. We have that information for you as well, that contact information. If we can pull that information up about the Facebook and the phone number, I'd like to share that with our viewers. You can go ahead and look them up on Facebook, and there is a phone number for you to call as well. As Jamal and Clifton were saying, please reach out if you are interested in getting involved. If you're a young man or a man really from any background, like Jamal was saying, there's a diverse background of men who are involved with Rise Up, and this is just one example of a group of people coming together to serve their local community. That barbecue was for the needy and the homeless in Beckley, and you saw pictures earlier of Clifton going out and delivering some food to those in need. So this is just one example of a local nonprofit and local men coming together and serving their community, really making a difference. And it really, like I said, it starts one person at a time, and I just really want to thank Jamal and Clifton for being a part of the show today. They've been on the show in previous times or here on WVVA, but I just really want to thank them again for doing what they can to make a difference and getting some information out about their nonprofit. And if you have any ideas for an In Focus segment that you'd like to share with me, you can email me, mzosh, M-Z-O-S-H, @WVVA.com. This show really is about people and events in the two Virginias. So thank you all for joining us on this Sunday morning. I'll see you all again next week.